Hello, hello. Welcome to the 45th Gene Key meditation. The sun is currently at the time of this recording in the 45th Gene Key, which the 45th Gene Key is all about cosmic communion. And it's really about going from the shadow frequency of dominance to the Siddhi frequency of communion through the path of synergy. So in more traditional human design, the 45th gate is known as gathering together. And the whole premise behind this gene key and this gate is actually working together and having a leader that helps to bring whatever it is, whatever group of people need to work together so that we can achieve the highest good and bring the resources to the people, basically, in whatever context that is. This can be in business, this can be in family, this can be in community, like in your local community. It's really all about gathering together to bring resources. In the context of the gene keys specifically, the gene keys to me always takes a more spiritual take on these gates. So it brings in this shadow of dominance, which so often, and we see it a lot in our world, but when you really start to open your eyes, you can see the glimpses of this gift and Siddhi kind of starting to spark. But let's talk about the shadow. So the shadow is dominant. So basically, what has happened as humanity has evolved, we've created hierarchies, right? And where like different people have different levels and it's not so equal. And, that needed to happen in a sense in order for us to evolve and grow the infrastructures that we currently have in this world. It kind of unfortunately needed to happen that way. To me, everything happens for a reason. And, some people do get the short of the end of the stick in some reasons. And I'm not trying to say that that's okay necessarily, because we are evolving as a species and kind of out of all of that. But we developed these hierarchies and these leaders that were supposed to take care of the people. Now, not all leaders always took care of their people. Some they did, some did not. So it kind of depended on the energy of that specific leader. But we developed these hierarchies. And where we're moving to now is this energy of synergy. So rather than having these different levels, like within companies or within communities or even within families, we're moving more to this synergistic vibration, to where rather than having hierarchies, we are getting this heterarchy, where everyone is technically at the same level, but you still have different responsibilities depending on where your gifts lie, not default just because of how you were born into a society or into a family or into a community, but more of where you fit in the whole with your own unique gifts and talents that you have to bring to others. What you were incarnated with in this lifetime, when you really hone in on yourself and recognize yourself for the beauty that you are. And we have hierarchy in this, and we work in this synergistic way to where everything's intertwined and no one's really above the other, but we all work for the common good. We gather together for the common good, so that not necessarily one person is above the other, but we all kind of do our part. So that, and then eventually when we come to the Siddhi of Communion, it's that like truly deep, like no fear, everything's stripped away. Even like at the Siddhi of Communion, there's no money, because money can really, especially in the Western, in modernized Western societies, we don't necessarily have, like kings and queens and people that are born into their role so much anymore. Again, here in the West and in more modernized societies, it's, we have these elected officials in a lot of cases, but or like money. At the end of the day, money is probably the biggest driving force of what starts to create that hierarchy, right? People with more money tend to have more power, and they tend to be higher up on the hierarchy, where we're coming to this space where eventually money, this is probably quite far off, maybe a few generations, but money will eventually come to be a mute point. When we're all truly showing up as our authentic selves, we're following our own authorities, and we are truly bringing our gifts and encouraged to bring our gifts into the world. That's where eventually money will kind of just fall away, but we're not quite there yet. So money is still, makes the world go round. But we're getting there, and you can see it. You can see it in how people are starting to behave. I don't know how your Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and whatever, all the feeds that you have, how the algorithm is working for you. How my algorithm works for me is I see a lot more people honing into their gifts and not being so concerned about money, but really starting to hone into their own gifts with all of that. So that's kind of just where we're coming to here. So let's do our meditation on the 45th gene key. And really, my intention for this meditation is to visualize and sit with that energy of everyone actually working together and having this synergistic flow of energy, tapping into this gift, rather than having dominance, that shadow frequency as the driving force, and people at the top trying to push the people lower down, right? And trying to climb on their shoulders, whereas it's more evened out. Everyone is bringing their own unique gifts to the table. So if you have Young Living's Gathering Oil Blend, I'm going to give you a minute, go grab it. You can pause this video if you're watching it after the fact. And I just, like I always say, the oils are not a necessity. If you do not have these oils, you do not need them to do these meditations. I just love to add another layer of frequency because essential oils have such a high frequency in and of themselves. To me, it just helps to invoke and bring in that higher frequency that we're working on cultivating through these meditations, through contemplations of the gene keys. So if you have the gathering oil, go ahead and grab it now. If not, just breathe as we inhale the oils. Okay, finding a comfortable seat. Myself comfortable. And we'll just do about 5-10 minute meditation max. Just getting yourself comfortable, allowing the shoulders to roll up, down, and back. If you have your oil, taking a few drops in the palm of your hand, rubbing the hands together, and taking 5 deep inhales. If you don't have the oil, just take 5 deep breaths. You're done taking your 5 breaths. Bring in the oil, whatever feels intuitively correct for you. Applying it to that part of the body. Taking another deep inhale and exhale. Then slowly releasing the hands down on either side of you, resting them on the knees. If your eyes are not already closed, I invite you to close them. Ground down into your body for a breath, allowing your awareness to dropping down into the throat, dropping down into the heart, down into the hips, and slowly in your mind's eye, start to visualize a group of people coming together. This could be people you know, or they can just be random people who come into your mind. They can have clear faces or fuzzy faces. Just imagine and visualize these human beings coming together, gathering together. And they're all at the same level. They all have honor and respect for one another. They all recognize that each of each other is unique, blessed with unique gifts. They're laughing, joyful, smiling. You can feel the energy of communion. You have gathered together to work together, to bring the highest good into the world, to know where resources need to be distributed, to know no one person is above the other. We are all human beings on this plane, coming together. Just visualize them working together. You can maybe know what they're working on, or maybe you're just on the outside looking in, watching their smiling faces, watching their energy. Taking a few breaths here, just watching the movie play. Feeling the lightness and the softness, the respect. Now shifting the focus, maybe letting like a movie pan to the next scene. Taking that energy that we just felt through that group of people working together in communion, in synergy, and visualizing our world leaders bringing that energy together. You can either visualize our current leaders, or they can just be leaders with fuzzy faces again. What matters is the energy that's there. Calling in, seeing them work together for the good of the planet. No ulterior motives, true gathering together, uplifting all the people, encouraging people to bring their own unique selves in their own unique gifts into the world, bestowing that energy on each and every one of us, knowing that they are just like us. We are all working in a hierarchy instead of a hierarchy. Feeling that energy, putting it out there and enveloping our world leaders in this energy of communion, with synergy, knowing that there is no point in pushing down another to lift yourself up. You rise as all the ships rise in the tide, all together. For the next couple minutes, just breathing and bringing that energy, and in turn sending that energy out. It is possible for us all to work in synergy and come into communion for the highest good of all, raising the vibration and frequency on this planet, empowering one another. Seeing the resources of the planet. This planet has more than enough resources for each and every one of us. Seeing those resources distributed throughout all. Slowly coming, bringing your energy back in, filling yourself back up, feeling that as we give, we receive. We are all on the same level. We are all human, walking this beautiful earth that we have been given. With all the animals, plants. Bringing your awareness back to yourself. Gathering yourself together. Gathering your energies in so it moves in a cohesive, synergistic unit. Synergy starts within ourselves, feeling our own energies, working with our own natural energy. Having communion with yourself so that you can have communion with others. Taking a deep inhale. On the exhale, letting it out through the mouth. Again, deep inhale in. Exhaling out through the mouth. You're ready. Slowly bringing your eyes back open. Thank you for taking the time to meditate with me today, to invoke the energy of communion back in, realizing that we are all the same. We are all humans. We are all worthy. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Let's form this communication. Let's commune with each other. Let's work synergistically together. It is possible. It will take time. And it starts with each and every individual one of us coming into synergistic energy within our own beings, coming into communion with our own selves, with our spirits, whatever words you like to use. Human design is a great vehicle to facilitate this when we understand how our own unique energies work, how our own gifts work, and we come into that synergy within and of ourselves. Then we're able to show up and bring that energy to the groups of people that we come in contact with. And ultimately, over time, with the world. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.